good addition to our range of products is the water conditioner, ModipHy, and what it's looking to do is to stabilise the water, the spray water that every farmer is going to use. And why we need water conditioners is pH, normally of mains water or even borehole water, varies across the country, east of England, obviously from North Yorkshire all the way down to Kent, Sussex and Hampshire. And within that zone you're looking at hard water. The rate for ModipHy, we would say in hard water areas, is 300 ml of ModipHy per 100 litres of water. So that's the water going in there, 330. So with the ModipHy, it's a sample, this is from production. We'll introduce the pH meter to the spray solution, so we're going to get a reading there of what Cambridgeshire water is coming out in terms of pH. And so we're getting there 7.5, it's heading down towards. Neutral, obviously 7.0. We're getting a hard water, so we're getting a higher than normal pH level. With agrochemicals, we can have this alkaline hydrolysis where you get a breakdown at high pH of a lot of actives. So the ideal spray solution needs to be at this, certainly lower than neutral pH. So the ModipHy, I'll take 1 ml. So as you can see, I've got, that's just 1 ml of actual ModipHy into 330 ml. So this, say, reflects the higher rate, 300 ml per 100 litres of water. What I'll do, I'll put half a ml in first, which is our lower rate. So we'll put half ml in there and say give it a little bit of a time to operate. And as you can see, the pH is starting now. Once you've given it a little bit of a mix, you got the pH heading down from 7.5 to 4.5, which obviously is I would say that's a good pH to apply a lot of nutrient products. So if you've got a foliar manganese, a lot of nutrition, that would work very nicely. So if I put the other half ml in, and again we're give it a little bit of an agitation, and as you see, you've got that immediate drop down to 3. I think that's coming down from. So we had a 7.5 pH of water to begin with, went down to 4.5 with half a ml, which would be our low rate of ModipHy, and with the higher rate, we're getting down to 3.2, which would be a good enough pH to stabilise most of the chemicals that would go in there. The key one is that people would know with glyphosate, you'd certainly get a rapid breakdown of glyphosate when you have that high pH of water. So if we can adjust that with a simple product going in at the correct timing and rate, we can achieve a good stability. So as you see, with the ModipHy, it takes a very small amount to achieve a good correction of the pH, and it just stabilises that solution, and you can get a far better performance from the actual agrochemical, herbicide, foliar nutrient, whatever you've got there in the spray tank. When you add in the final half ml, so that's effectively the last 150 ml in the spray solution, you don't see a linear fall. So the pH adjustment tends to be rapid for the first ModipHy input. As you add more ModipHy, you have a flattening of the curve. So rather than just a straight curve, you're looking at quite a large scale pH adjustment. And then as you add more ModipHy, that becomes more flattened as a response. So that's helped us make the decision on how high we go on the rates of ModipHy. So hence we settled at 300 ml as the highest rate per 100 litres of water. We don't need to go any more than that. You're not getting as much of a benefit from adding the solution, so it keeps it very much cost effective. You're getting a good effect at the lower rate. If you wanted to go to the higher rate, you're still getting an adjustment of the pH, but it's becoming less pronounced. So with certain materials you can get problems on incompatibilities, but ModipHy, with that pH effect, with the other organic acids that are within the product, you achieve a more stable spray solution. And things like manganese, calcium products, boron would mix far more readily. And an added bonus of adjusting the pH, with hard water you can encounter problems if you're trying to spray, for instance, 2 nutrient solutions. So here I've got a manganese 15% solution, and then here's our calcium product Advocate, which can be a little bit of an issue when it comes to mixing those two together. Again, high pH, you can get a little bit of an issue. I'll just put some manganese in there, which is sort of equivalent to 3 litres, a couple of litres of the calcium, and you can end up with a sort of cloudy solution. But as you can see, by having the ModipHy already into the mix, that keeps the pH low. That's getting us to a point where that's quite a nice pH to spray in foliar nutrients. So you're looking at, for a 3,000 litre spray tank, you're looking at around 9 litres of ModipHy. So our normal pack size would be a 10 litre drum. It's also available 200 litre drums, 1,000 litre IBCs for the bigger operators. And say with 3,000 litre tank, you're looking at 9 litres of ModipHy per 3,000 litres. If you had a 6,000 litre tank, obviously pro rata, you're 18 litres of product per tank fill. At Ilex, we would say it's probably the first thing you need to look at is adjusting the pH, getting the water condition right, and that's probably the biggest economic benefit you can get from an input, and ensures everything that's more costly that's following it, you get the maximum effect.